Hello students, in the last video we have discussed the overview of the chapter life processes. Today we would start with another topic, that is nutrition. Now, the first and foremost thing, which is the most important thing for every living organism to survive. For living organisms to survive, they would require food. Now, what is food? That is a chemical, that is a substance which we eat or which we take in and we get energy from them. So, what is nutrition? So, we would say the process by which food or nutrients are taken in is called nutrition. So it is simple. What? The process by which food or nutrients are taken in by the living organisms is known as nutrition. Now this food, it is chemical substance which is required by living organisms for energy. So they would get energy from these chemical substances, and that energy is important for the survival of those living organisms. So the process by which we take in those food or nutrients is known as nutrition. Now, they can be of both nature, that is organic as well as inorganic, because other than substances, like we give example of nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fat, etc. So these are those substances that provide energy to our body, and this carbohydrate is said to be the ideal source of energy. That means we get energy from maximum consumption of what? Carbohydrate. So we can say it is the process by which these substances are taken in. That is nutrition. So we can say there are different modes of nutrition. This mode of nutrition can be of two types. So one is autotrophic and the another one is heterotrophic. So we can say that the mode of nutrition can be divided into two types: autotrophic mode of nutrition or heterotrophic mode of nutrition, depending upon how is that food taken in by those organisms. So what are autotrophic organisms? Those organisms which have the ability to produce or synthesize their own food. So we can say those organisms which can produce or synthesize their own food are called autotrophic organisms. Clear? So what we have discussed, that the mode of nutrition, or in the topic mode of nutrition, that it can be of two types: autotrophic mode of nutrition or heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In autotrophic mode of nutrition, we have written these are those organisms which have the ability to produce their own food, and we would give example of what? Green plants. They are autotrophs. There are few bacteria like cyanobacteria which has the ability to synthesize their own food. we know, autotrophic organisms, best suitable example is green plants because they are also known as producers of our ecosystem, which means each and every organism depends on them for the food, because the ideal source of energy for any environmental system is solar energy. But we cannot eat that solar energy. So that solar energy must be changed into what? What are we eating? We are eating chemicals. So that solar energy must be converted into chemical form for our consumption. So that intermediate organism which links or converts this solar energy to chemical energy are these plants by the process of what? By the process of photosynthesis. So these green plants do what? Excuse me. Photosynthesis. They perform photosynthesis, and by this process they convert the solar energy. We said this is the ideal form of energy into chemical energy. So we can say what is the change that is occurring? The plants have the ability to trap that solar energy and convert that solar energy into chemical like glucose. So in the process of photosynthesis, what chemical is produced? Glucose is produced, and that is an ideal source of energy for us. So we can say the autotrophic organisms are, or green plants rather, are known as producers because they are responsible for producing food for all other organisms in the ecosystem. Clear? So what are autotrophic mode of nutrition? They have the ability to do certain process by which they can either produce or synthesize their own food. Now, what are heterotrophic mode of nutrition? In this we write those organisms which cannot produce their own food, hence depend on another organism for its food. So they have no, or they do not have the ability to produce their own food. They are dependent on other organisms for their food, hence they are known as heterotrophic organisms. Like we are dependent indirectly on plants for our food requirements, hence we are also what? We are also heterotrophic. But this can be divided further into 3 types. First one is known as Holozoic mode of nutrition. In the Holozoic mode of nutrition, the food is taken in and it is digested inside the body, and then it provides energy to the each and every cell of the body. That type of nutrition is known as Holozoic nutrition. So in this what occurs? The food is taken in inside the body and then it is digested to provide energy to the body. So we can say Holozoic organisms are what? We are Holozoic. Man is Holozoic. Humans or other animals like cow, dog, they are also all Holozoic animals, or they show Holozoic type of nutrition. But we have another group here. They are known as saprophytic nutrition. Now what are saprophytes? When an organism is dependent on dead and decaying matter for their food requirements, like fungi, they would absorb the food from the dead and decaying substances or either we call it detritus. So saprophytes are what? They would absorb the energy from dead and decaying material or dead and decaying substances. Hence, they are known as saprophytic mode of nutrition. These are, or in this type, the organisms absorb food from dead and decaying matter. This dead and decaying matter is also known as detritus. So we can say these saprophytes are also known as detrivores. So they are known as what? Saprophytes. Those organisms which show saprophytic mode of nutrition, they are known as saprophytes because they are dependent on what? Dead and decaying matter or detritus. We can call them detrivorous also. So this would have example like Panja. And the last type is the parasitic mode of nutrition. Parasitic mode of nutrition is more or less similar to saprophytes. The basic difference between them, they absorb energy or they take in food from dead organisms or dead decaying matter. But in the parasitic mode of nutrition, organisms would absorb energy from a living prey. So there is a prey and predator relationship like mosquitoes. They would suck our blood, so they are parasite. That means they are dependent on us for the mode of nutrition. So we would say parasitic is what? When an organism depends on another living organism for its food. Now this other organism can be known as prey, and this organism or the parasitic one is known as predator. So we would say there is predator and prey relationship. So the organism which is hunting, which is dependent on us or living organisms to extract food from them, they are predator. And we are the prey or the host for the mosquitoes. But this parasitic can be also of two types. Either they can be ectoparasites or they can be endoparasites. As you can see here, the name suggests ecto means external, endo means internal. So we can say ecto here means external and this is internal. So if that predator is on the body surface, so ecto are all on the body surface. So that predator, when they are absorbing food from the prey's surface, like mosquitoes are sucking blood from our body surface. So we can give an example of lice, mosquitoes, etc. Leech we can give on this. And endo, the parasite is inside the body. They are present inside the prey's body or host body, and they are taking in, absorbing in food from internal. Like we would give an example of tapeworm. So this is the type or the different types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, either holozoic, saprophytic or parasitic, in which there is ectoparasites or endoparasites depending upon from where they are absorbing nutrients, either from the surface or from being inside the body. So here we can say that mostly animals are grouped under heterotrophs. Or we can say the animals can be differentiated into three basic categories on the basis of their food habits. You know all what animals are grouped under three categories on the basis of food habits. Obviously, food habits means what they would take in food. Now, differentiation is important, and the most important thing is on the basis of what you are differentiating. So, here the basis is their food habits. And you know this, the three type of animals can be either herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores. So we can say there are three categories: herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. The animals which depend on only plants, they would eat only plants, then they are known as herbivores, like cow, deer, horse. Carnivores, they depend only on flesh, like lion, tiger. And omnivores here means which would depend on both, that is the plants as well as the flesh, like man. So on the basis of food habits, we can say that there are three categories of animals: herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. So this is the overview of nutrition and the mode of nutrition. Now in this chapter or in the life processes, we have to discuss each and every processes into two halves. That is nutrition in plants, nutrition in animals, respiration in plants, respiration in animals. So this chapter would go like this. So in the next video, we would start first with the nutrition in animals and all process or the main topic in that is human digestive system. Thank you.